I was born to do this, I was born to do this. I've always had that mentality, that young village boy mentality, putting extra work in. It's in my heart, and it will always be in my heart, it's a part of me, and always putting in my head that, that was the underdog. I feel like, that's what made me, growing up in the village, make a name out there. You had to truly put the work in so you could get some respect on your name. Sacrifice is everything, without sacrifice, you just won't make it to the top. You got to put the sacrifice in. Hard work and believing in that dream. You've got to truly believe in that dream. Just believe in your journey. Don't compare yourself to others. Muay Thai's offered me so much and it's helped me so much in life. Without it, I don't know who I'd be. So my name's Mouzakitis. I'm 25 years old and I fight at the highest level of Thai boxing.
In regards to, obviously, your last name,
yeah.
Where do you live at the moment?
So at the moment I live in Leamington, but originally I'm from Greece, so Corfu, Greece. Mouzakitis is a village name, so that's where it comes from, and yeah, I represent that name, and I try and make not only Leamington proud, but obviously the village I come from in Greece, try and represent it and make all those people proud as well, because coming from there to where I am now is, it's a big achievement, and seeing all them, happy for me, it's really good. I always make sure I represent the flag, even though I'm half English as well. I represent both flags, so obviously I represent England and Greece, I'm trying to make them proud. Fighting's really big in Greece, and they really support their own, so when I achieve something, I've got the whole country behind me, I know that for a fact. So that's why I always, represent the country, and this is only the beginning. I'm gonna take that flag to the highest of the highs. Get multiple bouts. I've already got multiple bouts, but I've got a lot more to do. I'm still young, still fresh, and like I said, I'll still be representing Greece and making them proud.
How old are you now?
So now I'm 25 years old. Yeah, 25? Yeah, 25. So 25 years old. I started fighting at the age of 7. So I'm young, but at the same time, I'm a vet. So, but yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything. This is my life. Muay Thai's offered me so much, and it's helped me so much in life. Without it, I don't know who I'd be. So it's a way of life now.
So we said you started fighting when you were 7.
Yeah.
Take me back to your journey of how that happened, where you was, kind of your first time remember you going to the gym.
Yeah. So when I was living in Greece, my dad had a gym underneath the house, literally in the basement, and he's the person that got me into it. So he got me into it, and at the start, to be honest, I didn't really like it because it was a bit of a I was doing football at the same time. I was doing a few things, trying to find what I love best. But slowly, when I started competing, I started falling in love with the sport even more, and back then, even from back then, I was training hard, he had me training hard every day, sort of like Thai style, and I think that's what you need to do, you need to start from a young age, and you need to really push yourself from then, and find yourself. And when I was young, he was like, what do you want to do in this sport? Because at the moment, you're doing pretty good. You know, you're going into competitions and you're constantly running every 3 weeks and stuff like that in the amateurs. He was like, you know, what do you want to make out of this? He's like, I'm not going to force you into it. It's, do you actually want to do it? And I said to him from a young age, I want to be the best in the world in fighting. And like I said, since then to now, I've had a few bumps, but I've always kept that same goal in my head. And here we are now, you know, like I've won multiple titles. And obviously I'm proud of those achievements, but I'm not quite satisfied yet. You know, I've got much more to offer, you know, much more titles to bring, much more bigger fights. And when it's all said and done, it's going to be a really good moment. You know, looking back from when we had that conversation in Greece when I was young to that moment now, it's, you know, I'm looking forward to it. Purely hard work, you know, hard work and believing in that dream. You've got to truly believe in that dream. And then obviously other things, like you've got to believe in the process, because, you know, things might not go your way sometimes. Not only sometimes, multiple times, you know, you'll have ups and downs constantly, but you've got to keep on believing in that dream, believing in your team and the process. And that's what I did, you know, from a young age. I've not stopped, constantly been committed, no matter what, you know, even if I had injuries, even if, you know, I've not been at certain points in my career and other people have, I've just constantly believed in my journey, believed in my team and the process. I fought multiple big names, you know, like obviously Nico when we were young. I feel like that helped me loads in my career, you know. Even a bit further back, you know, Spencer Brown, obviously he's retired now, but back then he was a big name. I learned a lot from Craig Oakley, you know, that fight. Even, you know, like the Nathan Bendon fight, you know, like people say, you know, you're proud from your wins and stuff like that, but I'm proud of like fights like that as well, because, you know, there could have been multiple times in that fight where I could have given up, you know, because he hit me with some good shots, you know, like we were probably, you know, going at each other, but the one thing I'm proud of from that fight as well, I never gave up, you know, I never gave up. I gave it my all when there was times where I could have given up, and I learned so much. And, you know, they're big achievements, you know, when you learn so much from some fights, you know, they're the ones that are going to stick in your head and where you can improve in training. So, yeah, I'm proud of those fights, you know, the big name fights. Yeah, it was good, you know, like there was a lot on the line, you know. It was a long camp, long tournament, you know. And like I said, I learned a lot from that fight, you know. He was in his peak, 30 years old. I was 23, 22, I believe, around there. So it's a good lesson, you know. You need to test yourself against these guys. That's where you truly find yourself, you know, in those wars. When shit hits the fan, you know, that's where you really find out who you really are, you know. Do I really want this? Am I really built for this sport, you know? You're not going to really learn much just stopping someone straight away. You're going to learn when you're in a 3-round war, you know, both cut up and see how much you really want it. It's massive now, you know, Muay Thai's massive. You can make a living from it, you know, it's getting big. Obviously, we've won championship on Sky Sports and stuff. But yeah, when I was coming up the ranks, it weren't as big. So, you know, you'd have big fights, but people sometimes would just forget about those big fights, because back then it was purely not big. You know, we used to really put our rankings on the line back then, you know, like against top names and stuff like that, and we used to fight. But, you know, people forget about these things purely because the sport wasn't that big back then. But I'm happy where it is now, the sport, you know, like I'm happy because it brings a lot of hope for the up and coming guys as well. And obviously for me, you know, knowing that I could probably make a living from this. And yeah, it's came a long way, and it will keep on growing. I believe if you're UK number 1 or 2 or 3, you're world class level. You know, it's improved loads here, and a lot of guys are proving it abroad. You know, they've been doing bits in the stadiums and stuff in Thailand. When they fight other countries, you know, they beat them quite easy. So it is high level here. It's evolving constantly, and I feel like as an athlete you got to do the same. even as a coach, you've got to keep on evolving because it's so high level here now. You've got to keep on going. The Thailand training is really good, but we're switching it up. Obviously, like I said, strength training, you know, that plays a big role. Even on the pads, you know, like a lot of people, I see a lot of pad holders, they go into more detail instead of just bashing out the pads. You know, they go into more game plan detail, and I feel like we've got a big advantage there. So I feel like that's where it's playing off loads, and it's going to keep on going. So if the Thais don't change the way, you know, they're training and come into like our mindset a bit more, we're just going to keep on winning. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good for the UK right now, and I'm happy. I'm happy for every fighter. You know, I don't really have any hate on any fighters. You know, everyone's doing their thing. Everyone's achieving stuff, putting the country on the map, and yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad they're doing it. And this year is going to be my turn. You know, I'm going to go international. I'm going to fight in Thailand. I'm going to fight wherever they offer me as well, like Australia, anywhere. You know, put my name on the map. You know, put it on the map and get big titles and beat big names. You know, we were from a little village, so if you wanted to like make a name out there, you truly had to put the work in, because you didn't have the stuff other athletes or other kids would have from bigger cities. You know, you had to truly put the work in so you could get some respect on your name. You know, and I've always had that mentality. You know, that young village boy mentality of, you know, putting extra work in, and always putting in my head that, you know, that I'm the underdog. That I need to put that extra work in and push myself even more. And I feel like, you know, that's what made me, you know, growing up in a village. And yeah, I feel like that's what got me here. And I'm grateful, you know, for my dad pushing us all those years, you know, like from a young kid to get me to this point. Because if I didn't work that hard from that age, you know, I wouldn't be here right now. We were from a little village, so if you wanted to like make a name out there, you had to truly put the work in so you could get some respect on your name. I've always had that mentality, you know, that young village boy mentality of, you know, putting extra work in, and always putting in my head that, you know, that I'm the underdog. That I need to put that extra work in and push myself even more. I feel like, you know, that's what made me, you know, growing up in a village. And yeah, I feel like that's what got me here. Not a lot of people were doing what I was doing as well. You know, obviously we had a few fighters in the gym, but other people were just doing hard working jobs, you know, to make some money. And I'm grateful, you know, for my dad. He always reminds me that you're the man, you're going to be there one day, and it's really important having that person next to you, pushing you all the time, you know. This is a way of life, you know. I was born to do this, and I'll keep on doing it till the day I die.